Nonsense time! And this time, I have a bone to pick with travel agencies. Travel in general. Travel is a weird thing. Okay, you go somewhere, but you don't intend to stay there. In fact, usually when you travel, you're gonna come back. It's tourism, and I fucking hate tourism. Okay, tourism sucks. Tourism can go to hell, back heaven, then fall down for all of the sins it's committed. Travel is just wrong. You go and you do some weird stuff which disrupts the daily lives of the place of the people that you're going to, and then you come back and forget that ever happened except for a few photos you took that probably have more of your face in them and makeup than the actual surroundings. So something is very wrong. But what's more wrong is having agencies around it. Okay, agents are made to wear black suits and black sunglasses and stick weird test tubes in you until you bleed so hard they finally let you go. Not help you travel. And they don't even help. I mean, travel agencies, you're supposed to pay them to cut down the work, but the overall work doesn't change. In fact, it increases with all of the phone calls and little bits and making sure documents are fine and misunderstandings. You're making more work happen by paying people money and taking up the same amount of time in your day specifically than you would have if you had just done it yourself. So travel agencies suck. Okay, they don't help you, they don't help themselves, they help no one, in fact. And it's the worst thing when you pay for a travel agency, a good travel agency, you spend a month's savings on a travel agency like thingy-majig, like I don't know, a pass, they're like roomties. And they don't deliver. Okay, they send you on your way on the transport tube. They send you through the clavis, and you come up to the place you're supposed to go, and you have a little document missing. You've got all of your identification, you've got your ticket, you've got all of the reasons you're going, you've got all of the permission you need, but you're missing a little slip that says somebody is receiving you on the other end. And it's stupid, because like, okay, in some situations, right, a person can't receive you on the other end anyway, right, because there's no one there. So you're left and you've traveled through, and now you're here and you're waiting on a document to arrive that can't arrive, so you're permanently stuck in limbo with nothing to do. That's a bit of a long tangent, but this applies to any document with travel, really, okay? Documents are a weird thing anyways. Bureaucracy is such an interesting idea, right? Everything has to be legalized. If everybody follows the same code of conduct, then everything is good. But to make sure people are following the same code of conduct, we need some proof. But the proof is based on the idea that people follow conduct for that proof. And so you get proof for that proof until you get to the base levels of proof where your very existence is proof. And if your existence is proof that you're following laws of conduct, what that means is that through bureaucracy, like our very being is being mashed together with the laws of society. It's blending the ego and the superego together into one mesh, and it's not even nice mesh. It's not made up of like emotions and little situations and all of these eensy weensy blimpy bloompies of joyous life. No, it's created of paperwork and paperwork and paperwork and paperwork and more documents and stress to worry about. And there are these little cards that are really easy to lose, and they have all of your credentials on them. And you need to, I don't know, like two-factor authenticate everything from your phone and your Gmail, and you need to get a secure password in, and it needs to be non-hackable, but hacking it is really easy. And it's so much work, okay? I mean, look, I'm here now, and to be fair, around these parts, the paperwork is much harder than what we had back where I'm from. But it's still a lot, right? And it seems to be a lot for us anyways, right? Because it's just so much writing and signing and like actually signing is the worst part of it, right? You've got a signature. It's supposed to be like the ultimate password, the uncrackable thing. You write your signature and your signature has to be the same on every document. But when you first start making signatures, they're inconsistent, right? Only after like a couple of years you get perfectly correct signature writing, and people can usually replicate your signature pretty easily given enough time. So it's not even that secure, but it's used on everything and it has to be handwritten. You can't copy paste it from a secure place. No, you have to handwrite it on every document, and you need to kind of sign like lots of individual papers for all of the separate clauses to be legally, correct for you. And it's so much work just to get an I don't know an ice cream truck. You need to do so much work, right? You need to have a thing that says to people, hey, this guy knows how to drive. Hey, this guy knows how to make ice cream. Hey, this guy knows how to get quality produce. Hey, this guy I can sell you produce. Hey, this guy abides by the same currency. Oh, and here's his name, address, email, and I don't know, browser history, just so that you're really sure this guy is authentic. It's so stupid. I just want to sell ice cream. You guys, well, I don't personally want to sell ice cream, but you need this for everything. Like every job has this. You need a permission for example, photography, right? Like permission for photography here is so stupid, right? You need permission to go to that place. You need to have an idea that you're a professional photographer. You need to have so many more documents to photograph just random objects if you're a professional photographer than you do as a non-professional photographer. It's very, very weird. Um, I personally don't enjoy this fact, okay? But again, any job, you're gonna have these things, and that's all so that if you do something wrong, they can catch you in a million different ways. But if you do something wrong and you know you did something wrong, you can still defend yourself. This breaks all the ideas of trust. And if everything is built on the idea that trust has to be proven, and you have this so that you can disprove trust, then it's very like it's so wrong inherently, okay? But if you do something wrong, you can get this thing called a lawyer, and lawyers are just so weird as a thing, right? Like you're supposed to know what stuff you're signing, you know what you're obligated to do, so why do you have to pay a ton of money for another person to do it for you? This it's this world is a messed up place, okay? But since everything is relative, and for some people this is probably comfort, and for others it's not, and it's it's there and back, and some people can't afford it, and so like they do it themselves, but it's much more messy because you need to go back through all of these. Anyways, it's a very blibby blappy sort of process. But while we're I need to probably get back to the original topic, travel, okay? Travel is also relative. Why is travel relative? Well, because it's there and back, so really you've negatively distanced yourself, okay? You went positive and then negative, and then it's like a zero distance, okay? You haven't traveled after having traveled. This it's a binary code. It's an inherent it's something very weird because you end up in the same place you started, just having made a loop. What's the point of the loop? The loop looks funny, sure, but whenever you brag about it, people are gonna go, ah, haha, yeah, you suck for bragging about it. So, what's the point? And if you're going for work, then it's not travel really, it's business just far away, right? And you're gonna come back anyway. And if you're going for work for a long time, but you want to live in a different place, what's the point? Okay, if you're gonna work for a long time, might as well just make different places entirely, like currency, and buy yourself a home and get all of these new documents again. But hey, some people they travel a lot, and actually, when people do travel a lot, distance gets relative as well. Distance is actually a funny thing. Okay, look, whenever I think about measuring distance, right? I go, okay, so that's 100 kilometers. Okay, that's a long way, but I say it's a long way because it takes a fast traveling car an hour. I measure my distance in time? That's stupid. They're separate things. Okay, sure, there's space-time continuum. Actually, it's not just space-time, but nah. Well, it's it's weird, right? You measure your distance in the time it takes to go that far, right? Otherwise, it's meaningless numbers. Okay, you can say you've got 1,000 millimeters, same as a meter, right? 1,000 millimeters. But it's 1,000 or one, but it's the same time to cross. It's like 1 second at walking pace, less even to cross a meter, right? So what's up with that? I have no clue, okay? There's no possible explanation for this in my perspective. And then you've got really long distances. Once you get a very, very long distance, you go, okay, that's very long, but an airplane can cross that in 9 hours. And most of the time you're actually sleeping on the plane. So really you're to cross that, you only have to be awake for 3 hours of the crossing, really, maybe even less. So it's a very weird thing, okay? And like for example, okay, Mars, it takes so long to get to, okay? Probes from this planet here made it to Mars in what, months? It took them months to make it to Mars, whereas really with high enough technology, you can get from one place to another in maybe 2 hours, 15 minutes. You could go to work on Earth, even. You could travel to Earth from Mars with high enough technology and then come back within the same period, within like a day, an Earth day, right? It's so interesting how all of this stuff is relative to each other, how it's not defined, it's wavy like the sea. It splishes and splashes in a bowl of ever continuous degradation of the human mind until all you can think about is, I can't think about Jack. Well, we've reached that point. Really, we have. We're at the point in humanity where all we think about is how we think about stuff. This is stupid, okay? Humans are stupid. Thinking about how you think about stuff doesn't lead to anything new. It just leads to new ways of thinking about stuff. And usually that stuff is thinking about thinking about thinking, about thinking, and oh, the cycle keeps going, right? It's so encumbering to live in this dreary kind of elevated philosophy world, right, where we've gone past the point of the bare necessities of survival and achieved a higher plane of understanding, but we haven't. Only some people have. In fact, the minority of people have. Okay? A lot of your guys are dying constantly of starvation, of not enough shelter, of bad medical aid. You've got an entire term for a third separate world, which is dying from it. Like, and you think you're at a higher plane of understanding, but when you've only got all of this suffering surrounding you, are you really that smart? Well, we like to think we are, okay, we like to think we're smart, so we just kind of roll with it. We like to think that we're smart, and I'm just realizing that maybe talking about this is me trying to make myself feel smart, although the stuff I'm saying isn't very smart at all. In any case, I think that little question of whether one is smart is a good place to end. So, as always, have a nice day, goodbye, and farewell.